Okay. All right. Welcome to the live of actually the Feds, the Feds announcement. We're gonna be able to just check it out in terms of the market, go on a live news and be able to see what's going on in a live news. And right now it's 13:48 in South African time. I think the Feds is gonna start announcement at 2 p.m. all the way to I think half past two, because after 2 o'clock where there's announcement, they're gonna have also the Feds meeting. So I would like to go to show you guys, or whoever who's gonna participate, when it comes to those conferences. If you do have any questions, you can pop up with questions on the chat. You can also comment or say anything that you would like to share. All right. Let me see. Okay. Okay. Let's see if we can be able to get to where we Windows. What do we have on Windows? Oh, okay. Okay. All right. Looks like the MTF4 has disappeared. Just get to MTF4. Trust me, this is going to be very, very interesting fades today regarding, because of, okay, we can see the MT4 checking out on the markets right now. USDT, you can see it sitting at 41,668. This is where I'm anticipating that the way they're saying, in terms of 50 basis points and or in terms of 100 basis points. So I'm really anticipating to actually maybe Dow Jones to push the price a little bit down. So here's what I'm thinking. I think the market is going to go to 40,738. If it breaks that level, it might get to, this is the key point, to 40,000 flat. I think it's a little bit of reverse when it comes to USDT. When it comes to NASDAQ, I'm thinking a different way, because of, I think it will want to get to 19,000. In fact, on a daily time frame, I actually analyze that I think the market of, in terms of NASDAQ, NASDAQ, it will get to 20,000. So for now, let's just check it out, NASDAQ at the moment. Okay, just quick analysis. We saw NASDAQ is going to go up a little bit. Just go maybe to 20,000 mark, maybe to reverse again back for this week. S&P 500, I think it's a drop. It will drop. I think it might get to maybe this should be your first target, 5,533, but the highest target, I think it's 5,414. Gold, of course, I think gold, it will drop a little bit, pushes the price. Maybe this one should put it as a first target, and then we'll see. In fact, no, this is supposed to be a first target. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Bloody gods. All right, 2,520 or 2,500 straight. I think I'm anticipating on that. Euro USD, I've already said that, it's dropping right now, but I think it will pick up and to start going all the way up because of, I'm anticipating a dollar to gain a little bit of momentum. So it might go back to 1.11. No, sorry about that. If I'm anticipating a dollar to have a stability, I think Euro USD, it will push the price down. This is the first TP we can anticipate it. And the second TP we can be able to anticipate. Okay, so we're going to leave it like that. And then let's just get to go check it out, how the news, what the analysts are saying at the moment, couple of news channels, and then it will get to 2 o'clock. There's a 6 minutes left in terms of, a Federal Reserve announcement. So welcome. Happy Federal Reserve Day, that we are actually anticipating to see today what will happen. Okay.
Morning, this is Bloomberg Daybreak Europe. I'm Tom McKenzie in London. These are the stories that set your agenda.
Taking you from the U.S. market's close to the overnight.
Transform your home into a beautiful and unique space filled with character, texture, and...
It's going to give us...
And that has to manifest itself into at least ceasing the rally
with the
in the back end and even maybe pushing rates higher.
This is why I was interested.
Rates seem fully valued to us. And the way we're really thinking about it is in order for fixed income to realize what the forwards are, to justify the current back end, you have to see rate cuts come through the system and come through probably even faster than what's being priced in the front end.
I would think that actually if the Fed were to disappoint and only cut by 25 basis points, people would buy the back end aggressively. And vice versa, if they cut by 50 basis points, it actually increases the chance of inflation picking up more at the other end. Greg, why is that not the trade?
Well, that could be the trade too. I mean, that is a plausible scenario, right? And kind of the debate that we're having just highlights what a tricky environment we're investing around, and the tricky environment that the Fed is contending with. So it's normally much more straightforward. It's less straightforward today. So I have a lot of sympathy for your arguments. I just really think it's an open road here.
Agreed. Greg, thank you, sir. Appreciate the clarity, or the lack thereof, the honesty. Greg Peters of PGIM. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Long end of the curve. I have this debate in my own mind. The investor committee in my own head, sort of throwing things at each other and trying to work out how this works out today.
The life of Pharaoh. It's sort of a very aggressive and intense life. There is this point, though, which is if you see a Fed that's more aggressive in terms of cutting more aggressively, doesn't that lead to the inflation potentially creeping higher and inflation expectations over the long term, or is that irrelevant at this point?
I think the bias in this market right now is the Fed needs to cut because the labor market might be in trouble and they need to get ahead of it. I think that's the bias right now in fixed income for the people that we speak to on any given day.
Mike writes in. Mike, thank you. How about the Fed just does 0.375 basis points and pleases everyone?
I've got a similar message.
Yeah, split the baby. Yeah. I think that, why not go out there, say, look, we hear everyone. We're not sure. So we're going to cut by 0.41% to bias it a little bit more.
I'm not sure that's how it works on a committee today, but then again, who knows?
they could just track work, on the Bloomberg terminal and see where the projection is and just track that.
I've got some good news for you. It's almost over. We get the decision at 2 p.m., the news conference at 2:30. And then after that, at 3:30, we can sort of lick our wounds and work out what happened, right?
Everything will be the opposite of what we expected. There'll be disappointment, though.
Up next, Dan Suzuki of Richard Bernstein, Yelena Shuletieva of BNP Paribas, Earl Davis of BMO, and David Rubenstein of the Carlyle Group from New York. This is Bloomberg.
Federal Reserve.
One of the institutions you've been very philanthropic with is your alma mater, Harvard. But recently, you've been very public about your criticism of the way Harvard handled the events of October 7th and their aftermath. Could you talk about that now?
The first reaction of a group of 34 Harvard student clubs on the morning after October 7th was to put out a statement saying that Israel was 100% responsible for the acts of Hamas. And my view on that was
really setting up
ridiculous.
Himself,
you can come out and say, look, I'm very unhappy about Israel's how the treatment of Palestinians in the West Bank, or you can say, we can talk about Gaza Strip, but you can't support terrorists, and particularly terrorists that rape and pillage and murder and burn and take hostages. Well, I got actually a text from a CEO in my industry. He's like, Bill, the people at Harvard, I'd like to know who the students are behind these clubs so I make sure I don't inadvertently hire them. And so I tweeted out that sort of made that point, and caused a bit of a firestorm, and I got a lot of pushback. Picking on students. I said, look, you can't hide behind a corporate entity if you're going to support terrorism.
The countdown is on. Everything you need to get the edge at the end of the market day.
Big tech earnings kick off later this afternoon.
Gilead is coming out right now.
We have take two numbers. Back to the markets, right? Our bread and butter.
NVIDIA is one of the best.
That actually matters a whole lot more.
It might shock some of your viewers.
You're watching The Close.
Get ahead of tomorrow's trading with The Close. Weekdays on Bloomberg. Context changes everything.
Changes everything.
Why should I want to invest in the pharmaceutical industry? Is it going to continue to grow as it did last year? And what about your own company? Do you think it's going to have good growth prospects over the next couple of years?
I think the reason to invest in the sector is the science. I mean, when you look again, if I go back into the history, for most of the last century, we were only giving people pills and small molecule drugs. Then we discovered that we had this whole world of biologics.
There's other instruments like UK 100.
More recently, we've discovered that we can reprogram your cells. We can edit the genome. We can use these RNA therapeutics to completely transform areas of medicine. Those technology areas are at their very nascent stage. And what we're going to find is they're going to open up whole new areas of growth from a business standpoint and a human health impact standpoint. We hope that as we work in our areas like cell therapy and RNA therapeutics, we will also be able to climb to a whole other level of market cap over time.
Good morning, this is Bloomberg Daybreak Europe. I'm Tom McKenzie in London. These are the stories that set your agenda.
Taking you from the U.S. market's close to the overnight session in Asia. We'll walk you through what you need to know to kickstart the European trading day. Live from our European headquarters, we bring you the day's top market-moving stories, unmatched expert analysis, and on-the-ground reporting from across the continent. Tune in every weekday at 6 a.m. London time, only on Bloomberg Television. It's a multi-trip.
S&P 500. Again, already showed this.
Lower interest rates, which the Fed is going to deliver. The question is how much.
We're looking for a 25 basis point rate cut, but for them to really signal they're going to do a sequence of cuts here.
A lot of the people on the street that have 25 basis point rate cut calls, they'd have no problem with the Fed going 50 either.
There's a really good chance that they move 50 simply to front load the process.
We do need to be cautious of being too dovish because we're coming off some pretty significant speculation, but it's still not released from the market yet.
This is Bloomberg Surveillance with Jonathan Ferro, Lisa Abramowitz, and Anne-Marie Hordern.
Let's see how it's going to go.
Got a message just moments ago. Just flip a coin. Is that what they're doing on the committee right now? Just flipping coins?
I think basically everyone is as sick of this discussion right now, but we're going to have it. Is it 25 or 50? We want to know. Voting minds want to know. We'll find out today at 2 p.m.
We've said a million times it's a three-part act. You get a statement, some forecast, and then you get the news conference. It's the package that really matters, whether it's 25 or 50. What comes with it? That decision a little bit later on this afternoon. In anticipation, your equity market very close to all-time highs on the S&P 500 this morning, up by 0.3%. 0.05% on the S&P. Lisa, on the NASDAQ, up by 0.1.
The question of just how this market can actually get further boosted by rate cutting expectations after 240 basis points of rate cuts already have been baked into the market through the end of